Hello YouTube, it's Knife Critics again. Has been a long time since I've posted a video, and now I'm back and I'm gonna show you a Benchmade 480-1 Shoki. Okay, there's a couple of different versions for the Shoki. One of which is this one here. This is the carbon fiber version. What is the S30V? No, excuse me. M390 steel. The other version that's in the blue class is S30V. There's also a gold class, which is 480-81. That's also in S30V. So we're gonna quickly go over what I like about the knife and possibly a few things that could be improved upon. Okay. As you can see, I've already opened up the box. In the box you have the sheath and the knife itself. There's also the paperwork as usual. One of the reasons I bought this is because I just like the look. I really like the look of it. It's not a very big knife at all. I'm gonna use one of my favorites, the Sage 3, sorry, can't say So compared to the Sage 3, it's got a much smaller, slimmer handle, and the blade is also quite a bit slimmer and shorter. Okay, put that aside. Now, but this is just a very elegant knife. Like if you can see the hardware on the knife itself, they all have some sort of engraving to them on both sides, and the carbon fiber is just really classy. And the one thing I like most about this knife is the blade steel, M390. So far from Benchmade, this is one of my favorite blade steel, because it just seems to hold up an edge forever and sharpens up really easily too. Going back to the design of the knife, as you can see here, the other classy thing about this is the backspacer. It's really nicely done. It's got like a sort of a swirl for the backspacer, and the two titanium liners are blue anodized. Very nice. And it's extremely light. The knife is only, according to the Benchmade site, it's only 1.8 ounces. Makes this a very light knife for EDC carry. The blade is still sufficiently long at 2.89 inches, so almost 3 inches. Not quite, but getting there. So it's very useful. The blade shape is very useful. It's good for a lot of utilitarian tasks, opening boxes, letters. You know, this is really not meant for hard use, as you can see from the blade thickness. It's not that thick. It's 0.09 inches. So yeah, it's definitely not a tactical knife. It's a EDC, sort of a gentleman's EDC kind of blade. Now, and you can also see the designer's signature here. Let's get the light there. Yeah, there we go. Let's try to pronounce the name here. Nakamura. I think that's how you say it, Nakamura. That's his signature. He's actually designed quite a few knives for Benchmade. There's can't remember right now, but there's other knives in the Benchmade lineup using also the neck lock. This is the neck lock. It's sort of a compression lock, but you got a little button here where you can push in to, you can see the liner popping out and in. This is what's locking the blade when you open this. So there you have it. The only gripe I have about this, although I'm not left-handed, I would have been, it would have been nice, you know, for the thumb stud to be left-handed, especially for the lefties, and the neck lock is right hand only, obviously, because you can't really access it from the other side. But if you are left-handed, I guess you can use your index finger and unlock that. But then, you know, there's no way for a lefty to prop the blade open because the thumb stud is on the other side, so you have to use the index finger for that, which is kind of hard to do. And then closing it, you have to use, I guess, your middle finger and push down with the index finger. So yeah, not really lefty friendly. So if you're lefty, you know, beware. One of the reasons they give you this sheath, the leather is really nice. It's nice and soft, but the construction is kind of shady. I mean, you got you know, the outside is not really finished that well. It's only single stitching, and the stitching is not exactly even. So, but at least it gives you like a pouch, which is nice to protect the blade, and it also gives you that clip, which you can put in your pocket and hold the blade in place, because this blade does not come with a pocket clip. Okay, it does come with a lanyard hold, but no pocket clip, which is quite disappointing, to be honest. I would have preferred a pocket clip for this. It would have made the knife a bit heavier, but if you consider the weight of this, yeah, a knife with a pocket clip would have been lighter, you know, in the end. So, but still, this is a beautifully crafted knife for its intended use, which is EDC, gentleman's knife. No complaints at all. Points to improve is a bit on the fit and finish. I don't know if you can see this, the liner here. It's not exactly lined up with the scales of the knife, so that could have been better. I know it's not a customs knife, but you know, I'm just nitpicking here. For a production knife, this is actually very, very nice. Very nice, I have to say. It's just beautiful. So yeah, the blade is extremely sharp. I don't know if you can see, I do have a little scratch on it. I don't know how I got the scratch, but there's one tiny little scratch. Yeah, there you go. So the stonewashed finish isn't as durable as I thought it would be, but it's still a nice blade. And if you look at the centering, it's mostly centered. It may be off to that side by, I don't know, half a millimeter, so it's really no big deal. The other thing is, you know, if you compare this knife to, say, this one here, the brush. Is it the brush? Yes. The 581, which is also, I took the spring out just for the heck of it. This one also has M390 steel, much larger blade, but this is actually cheaper than our, well, retail price anyway. Why is that? The mechanism of the 581 is actually very complex, but so is this. It doesn't seem obvious. It looks really to be a very simple knife, but it's actually very complex. I would recommend that you don't do this yourself, because when I did it, I almost screwed myself by losing one of the ball bearings in there. Yes, there is actually a ball bearing system in there. It's not the same as say a KVT that the Kershaw uses for their ZT series, like this ZT 0560. It's a different kind of ball bearing. The ball bearing actually goes into the axle, the pivot itself, and then this is where you have the pivot screw, and on the back end you cannot see it, but it's actually on the inside of the pivot. You actually have an adjustment screw where you can adjust the tension for the ball bearings. How cool is that? It's a very unique design. I cannot show you because it would just take too much time. But if you open it up, and I would highly recommend you open that up, open the pivot up in a box, because you have those tiny ball bearings in there, and if you're not careful, you're gonna lose them. And especially if you have carpet floors, these ball bearings are so tiny they will disappear in your carpet. So be really careful. I almost lost mine, and I wouldn't want the same to happen to you also. So right now I've opened this up and closed this up, and I can understand how unique this design is, and I can appreciate the price on this. It's reasonable for a carbon fiber and M390 a combination, plus the hardware is just so elegant. Also almost makes this gold class, but not quite. So yeah, hope you like the review. Knife Critic. So